Millions of people vanish. Politicians pretend nothing weird happened, and one unlucky pilot realizes he should have listened to his wife about going to church. Today we're breaking down a story of chaos. Welcome to Magician Recaps Explains. Let's dive in the movie. In the not-so-distant future, Earth suddenly decides to play hide-and-seek with millions of its people. And when I say suddenly, I mean poof, gone, like your paycheck on Friday night. News channels go full panic mode, reporting 24/7, while politicians keep giving press conferences saying, "Relax, guys, this has nothing to do with God." Totally normal mass vanishing. Meanwhile, the Bible is just sitting there like, I literally told you this would happen. Naturally, the internet goes wild with conspiracy theories. Some say aliens abducted humanity for an intergalactic cooking show. Others blame quantum physics, wormholes, or just plain bad Wi-Fi. Basically, nobody agrees, but everybody's screaming. Right in the middle of this chaos, we meet Jonathan Stoneagle, a billionaire so rich he probably tips in Bitcoin. Instead of donating to charity or funding hospitals, he decides, you know what the world needs right now? Me owning the largest information system on Earth and starting my own religion. Because nothing says trust me like a billionaire buying all the news networks and then building himself a temple. Meanwhile, crime skyrockets everywhere. You'd think losing millions of people would make the world calmer, but nope. Society turns into GTA Online in real life. And caught in this mess is Rafford Ray Steele, a pilot who just lost his wife Irene and their son in the big vanishing act. Now, Irene was always on about faith, always inviting Ray to New Age services, waving Bible verses like coupons at a supermarket. But Ray? Nah. He kept saying he'd get around to it. And now, here he is, sitting alone in his grief, wishing he hadn't procrastinated on salvation like it was a gym membership. One day mid-flight, Ray is cruising at 9 kilometers above ground when suddenly, bam, half the passengers just disappear, leaving behind empty clothes, shoes, and a lot of unclaimed luggage. Ray finally realizes that Irene wasn't just nagging him for fun. The rapture actually happened. And now, the dude's flying with empty seats and way too much guilt. Somewhere else, journalist Cameron Buck Williams is trying to do his job. He goes live on TV with a big broadcast covering the disappearances. His guest is Dr. Kim Cage, a scientist investigating this so-called pandemic of evil. She confidently declares that a second wave of vanishings is coming, based on, you guessed it, a computer prediction. That's right. Forget prayer, forget prophecy. This is apparently an Excel spreadsheet apocalypse. Just as Buck is about to ask real questions, like, who programmed this magical RaptureBot 3000? The broadcast suddenly gets cut. Buck storms off the set, looking for answers, but runs into corporate politics. His cameraman sheepishly admits he couldn't go against management, and Buck is furious because, journalism. He confronts his boss Steve Plank, who basically tells him to quit asking scary questions. At the same time, Steve's secretary casually drops the biggest news bomb of the decade. Nicolae Carpathia, Romania's former ambassador, is now the new UN Secretary General. You'd think that would get Steve's attention, but nope. He's too busy threatening Buck's career. Meanwhile, Ray returns home and tells his daughter Chloe that he's decided to go back to work, trying to distract himself from grief. But Chloe isn't doing any better. She feels guilty about her brother's disappearance and even has nightmares about being locked out of heaven's door like a failed nightclub guest list. She bangs on the door in her dream, but heaven's bouncer just shakes his head. Back at the news front, Buck watches Carpathia's big speech, where the Romanian smooth talker calls for a one-world government. Because apparently, losing millions of people is the perfect excuse for some global monopoly. Buck calls his friend Dirk, who suggests meeting somewhere quiet to discuss. And boy, does Dirk deliver. He shows Buck how corporations basically run the planet. We're talking 15 TV channels, 120 radio stations, 300 newspapers, and even pharmaceutical companies all owned by the same handful of elites. Guess who's behind it all? Stoneagle, of course, the guy buying up information systems like Pokemon cards. Buck is shocked, especially when Dirk reveals that Stoneagle's company has been fabricating crisis data the whole time. Yep, 90% of the numbers on disappearances come straight from their spreadsheets. It's basically the world's biggest catfish. To make things spicier, Buck remembers being on a plane during the vanishings and meeting a woman who later turns out to be Chloe. He even has a photo of her. Destiny much? Dirk then reveals he's been storing information in a secret safe, which contains a password-protected hard drive. And here's the funny part. It holds an entire season of The Simpsons, which, let's be honest, is almost the same thing as a prophecy. Later, Buck meets Chloe and shares Dirk's discoveries. He admits he thought he was a truth-teller, but now realizes he's been playing for the wrong team. Back at the church, the pastor explains to Ray about the 7 years of peace in Israel, warning about the Antichrist. He admits he himself was a false teacher because he never truly believed. Big plot twist energy. He hands Ray a video made specifically for those left behind. Ray finally starts praying for real, realizing faith isn't just about showing up on Sundays. Meanwhile, Dirk sneaks into the Eden servers. He gets blocked by a password until, bam, an anonymous stranger sends him the key. He gains access and discovers Eden isn't just financial. It also monitors biometrics and social profiles. Basically, your online shopping habits, medical records, and even your lunch order are now in Stony Eagle's hands. Whoever controls Eden controls the world. Things escalate quickly. Dirk sets up an interview to expose the truth, but corporate spies catch him. He finds a bomb planted in his office, manages to warn his friends, but dies in the explosion like every brave whistleblower in every movie ever. R.I.P. Dirk, gone but not unsubscribed. Chloe continues to wrestle with faith while Ray keeps studying the Bible. Buck, on the other hand, keeps chasing evidence of the rapture. He digs into Eden's code with Dirk's laptop and discovers 3 dates: the first disappearance, the second wave, and an upcoming third event, written in the code long before they happened. Translation: somebody knew this in advance. Buck tries running names of supposed second-wave victims, but learns those people never existed. Fake people, fake vanishings. It's all been staged like reality TV. Stony Eagle and Rosenwag try convincing Carpathia to support their Eden project, but the Romanian boss doesn't need them. He knows the system is already running smoothly. Then, in a shocking twist, Stony Eagle reveals to Carpathia that he's grooming him as his successor. And sure enough, when an assassin suddenly attacks during a press conference, Carpathia casually takes the gun and kills both Rosenwag and Stony Eagle himself. Everyone watching just nods like this is totally normal. And then, mass hypnosis alert. The crowd insists it was the guard who fired the shots. Carpathia just pulled off the world's greatest magic trick. Buck, still alive and stubborn, hijacks the news cycle. He broadcasts the real version of events, exposing the lies. Agents chase him like it's a Jason Bourne movie, but Buck escapes, dumpster dives to safety, and keeps exposing the truth. Meanwhile, Ray finds more flyers at the church and starts helping the pastor lead survivors. Chloe is still torn but sticks by her dad's side. Slowly, their faith deepens. Finally, Ray, Chloe, the pastor, and Buck regroup. They board a plane together, symbolizing their unity and new faith. The pastor warns that the worst is yet to come. 7 years of suffering before the second coming. But for now, they take off, flying over the city as countless church pamphlets rain down from the sky, like confetti at the end of a parade. People below grab them, confused but curious. And with that, the stage is set for humanity's darkest chapter. And that's the movie, folks. If you enjoyed this recap, don't vanish on me. Hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe for more movie breakdowns with a sprinkle of sarcasm. Until next time, keep your seatbelt fastened, because the next flight might be bumpy.